Hello? Okay, so that sounded a little odd. But yes, I'm hoping that this will actually work. Let me just check that everything is in the right place, which means actually closing a ton of windows, because I have a lot of tabs and stuff open. Wow, that was fast. People are noticing. Let's resume this flight here so we can see what's going on. As you may guess, this is kind of an aircraft carrier that is in space. As things, you know, that's kind of what happens in Kerbal Space Program. I'm actually just testing how its flight attitude works during re-entry, so just give me a minute as I rotate this thing around. We're gonna do it like this, and then I'm gonna rotate it, and hopefully, oh, maybe stop rotating? Okay, now this has some issues. Stop with the pitching and start with the rolling. Okay, I think it doesn't seem to have any pitch authority at all unless the rudders, unless the engines are running, which causes us some issues. What I want to do is roll this thing over. Yeah, this is obviously me messing around with, you know, aircraft carriers, which, yeah, it's kind of normal for me. Also, beer, just because beer, you know. Just gonna stop the rotation like that. Let's see if I can make a roll happen. I want this to actually roll. What is that abomination? Well, okay, so actually this is... in my Discord server, GregorxMun basically dropped in a picture, a hand-drawn picture showing the ultimate Enterprise. And this is kind of part of the way there. You see, the ultimate Enterprise is a combination of all the ships that have been named Enterprise. So obviously this is mostly the Enterprise aircraft carrier, but you can see on the front there is like the front of a space shuttle, and we've got some space shuttle wings. And I'm thinking obviously we can attach some warp drive nacelles to the side, and, you know, maybe some... I'm just trying to roll this thing. Maybe we can add some other stuff. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking, but this thing is not rolling. What I'm really trying to do is roll it, and it is not doing that. There we go. It is starting to roll. Yeah, no, I think we might also want to try adding some sails. That's an important thing. There we go. I'm still trying to roll this the right way around. The roll does not seem to uncouple neatly with the yaw. But I'm gonna get there. Look, I've got some control of this thing. Now I need to start pushing the nose down. There we go. Look, we got it, right? And we're... Okay, that's us. We got some control on this thing. So the reaction wheel systems on this are crap. Yeah, we're just basically going to make the ultimate Enterprise... Okay, now it's completely continuing to roll. It's just not cancelling out. And... this is a really bad idea. This is a really, really, really bad idea, because this thing is just not going to fly, and it's like 100,000 tons. I might make a smaller aircraft carrier that I can attach at least regular shuttle-style wings to. Look, it's starting to rotate. Oh, come on! Hey, someone's got to deal with leaks. What? Get Zephram Cochrane on the line? Yes. Okay. The reason I'm running these engines, by the way, is because it seems to give me some sort of control authority, which I wouldn't otherwise have. So I'm now gonna start pitching the nose down and hoping that I can maintain... maybe the problem is... Maybe it's like some attitude control. It's not big E unless it's big, it's true. It's very true, it needs to be big. Okay, I'm just going to turn off these engines and see how it maintains attitude right now. I wish I had reverse. How are steam turbines working in space? very well, as a matter of fact. They're working excellently. About as well as this, you know, robotic elephant, right? Look, the Enterprise is a nuclear carrier, right? So it should be able to handle this just fine. Now, what I'm wondering is, will this thing slow down? Oh, look, we've actually got some re-entry effect. Oh, yeah! You know what's fascinating is the clipping on the re-entry effects is only going like halfway along this thing here. What I find also interesting is that it does seem to be not slowing down particularly fast. We are gonna 2 minutes to periaps, and I'm not sure that we are gonna get all the way through. Let's try pushing the nose down. This is me holding the pitch down button, and I don't believe that this is actually wanting to respond at all. I wonder what the view is like from the cockpit. See, it's like from the cockpit, it's just like, yeah, this totally looks like a space shuttle, right? I'm flying the Enterprise. And then you're like, oh wait, I really am flying the Enterprise. It does seem stable right now. I think it's more that regardless of the amount of aerodynamic force that is being placed upon it, it just is not responding in any useful way. Oh man, I'm trying... Oh, actually, you know what? I think it is starting to pitch down. It does feel like it's responding. That feels like it's responding to me. I'm wondering if the control surfaces are actually having an effect. Let's try pushing down even further. Maybe? Steam turbines as propulsion? Yeah. We're pushing against the space air, obviously. It's a very good substitute for the space... Well, technically we're pushing against space water, because space water is higher density than space air, as you know. I'm trying to push the nose down here, but it doesn't seem to be doing a great job. I'm hoping that the wings will actually push it further down. I'm thinking we're actually going to orbit back into space, to be honest. Don't breach the hull or space will flow into your ship. Yes, we are being very careful because you see that we are very careful that we want to keep these parts above the space water line. Otherwise, the space water will, in fact, flood the vessel and make it, you know, start to sink. The shuttle nose and the shuttle wings and the shuttle tail... Well, okay, we've got a few shuttle tailplanes there, right? But I'm hoping that if this works, we shall be able to add, you know, Enterprise warp nacelles down the side, you know, like sticking out. And then we could add some sails. Because I believe there was like an old sailing ship called the Enterprise, right? I took the island off temporarily because it was a command pod and this thing works better. I'm primarily having issues. Yeah, this thing is not slowing down quickly enough, so I'm deliberately pushing the nose down in the hope that we get more drag. Is this from the US Space Navy? It may well be from the Space Navy. Look at that. I like how these things are just spinning along. Obviously, the graphics are a little low quality right now because I've deliberately turned up the ambient light. Flying squad on that ship would be going nuts with all the fires. Really. It's true, the original Enterprise was a French ship which was captured and renamed by her Royal Navy, his Royal Navy, HMS, right? Okay, look, we're picking up vertical speed, but I'm doing the best to counteract that, and hopefully we'll be able to keep this under control once we get low down. Are the crew supposed to shout land ho at periapsis? Well, maybe. I don't know, is that standard protocol in an aircraft carrier? Do they shout land ho? Land ho! I know I'm going back up, but I think I'm also slowing down, so at this point I could actually just aim forwards and let the drag sort it out. Let's maybe just do that. I wonder how far I'll glide in this thing. I'm actually curious as to how far it will glide. Today is the 139th anniversary of the Battle of Rorke's Drift. Yeah. True. I don't know, I'm gotta be careful with those colonial battles. Yeah, maybe they should have a crow's nest and shout, "Planet Ho!" Yeah, 20 battle stars. Aim forward and let drag sort it out. I wonder how long this will maintain. I think it's doing pretty well, to be honest. I think it's also kind of cool that despite being on fire, it's basically probably got such an amazing amount of heat capacity. Aerodynamic forces, temperature gauge is enabled, disabled. We'll turn on the aerodynamic forces. Look, we do have a big red aerodynamic force there. Oh, look, now we're starting to pick up some lift here. Look at the lift on that thing. That is quite impressive. Oh, and it's disappeared now. Just wait. Well, any minute now as I push the nose back down again. I honestly think this thing just has too much lift and it's naturally wanting to pitch the nose up, which can be a big problem in some of my designs. I'm sure you've noticed this. There we go. That is pushing us downwards. So I'll just try and maintain that attitude, a healthy attitude. Just for the record, it is about 120,000 tons. It's true, this aircraft carrier does seem to have too much lift for an aircraft carrier. I mean, to be fair, I did add these wings, and I think the wings are possibly interfering with the natural aerodynamics that an aircraft carrier should have. But I'm surprised that it's actually working as well as it is. I mean, seriously. Yeah, this aircraft carrier just doesn't want to stop sailing the seas. This is really not the most serious stream, but the wings are here adding drag, to be honest. They are keeping the natural tendencies of the aircraft carrier to do, you know, crazy stunts. Keep it under control. Those wings are really affected the buoyancy. It's very true. Okay. Well, let's turn that off, and yeah, we're just going to keep that there. This is taking forever to slow down. Apoap's height is about 50 kilometers. Maybe I should do time acceleration just a bit. Just to keep this thing sensible. I think we're going to orbit all the way around onto the daytime side at this rate. Yeah, we are practically sailing in the exosphere of the planet. Are the Kerbals the wave motion gun? You know what? This does not have a wave motion gun. If you remember, the Yamato was a battleship. This is an aircraft carrier. Come on. Know your spaceship classes. This is... Just wait. We are gonna add on all the other bits to make this the ultimate enterprise. Obviously, I had to tweak scale these things. So part of the problem is that this spacecraft here, this mod, was the best aircraft carrier mod I could find, but unfortunately it doesn't support tweak scale. So everything has to be scaled up to fit into this perfect idea. Oh, how did this ship get into space? I cheated it there, obviously. I mean, it's an aircraft carrier. Its natural environment is space, right? It can perform the Daedalus. I'm so glad you guys know Star Blazers. I'm just so happy because kids these days just don't know about these things. I could use it as an arm for a Macross class super dimensional fortress. There you go. I tell you, chat seems to be very, very animated tonight. Okay. Look, we're up to like 50 kilometers, but I think we shall follow back. We're running it at about 2 times regular speed. I do have BD armory, incidentally, so we could put weapons on this, but I do need to actually build warp nacelles and stuff first. Oh, there was an announcement on the Discord. Yay, Discord! Oh, man. It's true, this thing just naturally wants to pitch up. It's like it just wants to fly. Aircraft carrier in space. It's actually technically in the upper atmosphere. So, not this warp nacelles. Yeah, we want to make the ultimate Enterprise. So this will be the Enterprise aircraft carrier. We've already bolted on bits of the Enterprise space shuttle, so we need to bolt on the warp nacelles from the Enterprise starship, and hopefully, if we've got time, we'll put on some sails from the Enterprise, you know, sailing ship, right? And maybe we can, I don't know, put an Enterprise rental car on it. Can this thing drift? And where are we delivering the tofu? I have no idea. Man, we are getting very close to our apoaps. Soon we shall start falling back again. But we have sunrise. Oh, I totally missed sunrise here. Isn't that beautiful? BD Armory is good for a launch termination system. I think this really is something special. And I mean that Special Forces style, obviously. Rather than say special sauce. Because special sauce is just like mayo, ketchup, and mustard all mixed together. Like, what's special about that? Right? It's like, I'm too lazy to put 3 different kinds of condiment on my burger, so we're gonna give you special sauce. Well, here's the thing. I couldn't find a mod with decent Enterprise nacelles, so I'm gonna have to build something that looks similar. I had thought that I could use Kerbal RPC to animate them. Right now, we're just evaluating the flight characteristics of this thing. It's more... The problem with this is its density is so high that it doesn't want to deorbit. Wait. Okay. Real aircraft carriers are unsinkable. They are, but they're only unsinkable when they are floating based upon density of liquids. And the problem is that the density of the liquid through which this is currently, or the density of the fluid through which this is currently moving, is lower than the density of the aircraft carrier. So naturally, it will sink, right? The question is just how far this darn thing will go. We're like 15 minutes and this thing still hasn't deorbited. I am disappointed. I'm still having to keep pitching nose down. There is nothing like the USS Enterprise or Force, so it had to be a Nimitz. That's true. So can somebody... I bet you somebody out there can explain the difference between an Enterprise, the USS Enterprise and the Nimitz class, right? So what's the difference? Please, I really want to know. I don't want to try a higher angle of attack to increase drag for the simple reason that I think we will not maintain control of it. Right, the Ford is the new class of aircraft carrier, right? So, but how is the Nimitz is like an older, right? So, but how can you tell, like in terms of shape of the hull, just looking at the hull, what's different, right? I mean, yeah, obviously they're trying to develop electromagnetic catapults, which is kind of a cool concept, although... And it does have teething troubles. Okay, the Enterprise had 6 reactors, whereas the Nimitz had 2. The Enterprise is older than the Nimitz, right? And the Gerald Ford had more power, the island is further to the stern, and the Ford is bigger. I mean, the US operates more aircraft carriers than, like, the rest of the world, right? The rest of the world put together. See, I want to know all these things. I occasionally go and visit the USS Hornet, and which is cool because, of course, they have a little Apollo exhibit there. So, here we go. My altitude. So the periaps is dropping down to 25. So hoping that I can actually perform final landing. Yeah, I love the fact that the plasma is falling afoul of the draw distance, right? This thing is a little bigger than it's supposed to be. Look, we're coming up on the launch site soon. The US maintains a permanently stationed aircraft carrier off the coast of Europe. It's called the UK. The funny thing is, I think for a long time, the US operated more aircraft carriers than anyone else, but the country in second place was the UK. It, like, operated more aircraft carriers as well. Which is kind of ridiculous, but then they switched to, like, dinky little aircraft carriers. I mean, a lot of, like, the whole angled deck design, I don't know, this is a British idea, right? The idea that your landing deck is angled and your launch deck is here so that you can launch and land simultaneously, right? So, and, you know, Britain was the first country to land jet planes on an aircraft carrier, right? Where's the island? The island get taken off because I just needed to fly something sensibly. Okay, come on, 7 minutes. We're flying this at double speed, incidentally. We have now moved low enough that we have switched to surface. Oh, man. Here we go. There's the mountains. Just zipping over them. Yeah, the bridge. The island is what they call it. There's an island about here, and then there's a radar mast that's just behind it, right? They only managed to get the Invincible class by calling them cruisers, yeah. Yeah, Britain is used to rule the waves, right? But no more. Yeah, there was a lot of things that Britain did right, I know, and, you know, ultimately, those days are gone now. Okay, so here we go. Now we're starting to fall lower and lower. So I'm just going to try and maintain attitude and see if we can soft land this thing. Oh, you know what? Never mind, I'm just leaving. I think I might have unbreakable joints enabled, just so you know. Well, the Royal Navy has many things going for it. Yeah, I'm hoping we land in the ocean because this thing is certainly not designed for moving over land. I can't believe this thing is taking so long to bleed off its speed. Why is Reddit down? Are they debating something critical or something? We're going to be No, we're not going to be headed back up because the periapse height is now -30. So it's just a slow descent into alcoholism. It went. I said, my slow descent into alcoholism it went. Oh, wow! Okay, we lost something. I don't know what that was that exploded, but I'm now having trouble pitching nose down. I'm pushing all the way nose down, and it is not working. You know what? You know what happened? I think. You know what's happened? This is hilarious. So, the connector between this and the aircraft carrier is what broke. So this thing is currently pinned on here by air pressure. It is a separate object and it will soon be departing. Once the angle gets high enough, it will probably slip off and fly away with Jebediah in it. That was... It is now a ghost ship. It is. That is how bad my singing was. it exploded. But, you know, then again, I do have an awesome tune, which one of these days I might actually sing about, you know, rockets failing. We thought we would record it on Monday, but it didn't happen. Yeah, see, this is 170 meters, so this is a separate object. If I switch, it's there, you see? This is a separate entity in the universe. It's just stuck on the front here. Okay. Well, I guess that means I can never, I'm never gonna be able to fly this thing. Okay. Yeah, I thought this thing would fall off by now, but apparently it's just fine. It would be interesting, actually, to have Jebediah get out and try and figure out how to get back inside this carrier. Yeah, the props are just totally spinning, trying to do their business, but there's nobody on the ship to actually control it, so... The good news is that it has actually slowed down. It's probably going to hit at some crazy steep angle, which could actually mean that it hits the surface relatively slowly. Wow, so I'm glad that somebody has figured out that we are dealing with 12.5 terajoules of energy if we crash at this moment in time. Hello, Silent Searchlight. I can't see the ground here, or rather the water. It's down there somewhere. Hold on. Let's adjust... Oh, no, not this. Settings. In ambient light boost. I just need to know. I can't see anything here. There's water there somewhere. Yep, we're still coming down. We're basically going belly down at about the speed of sound. Of course, the speed of sound is something this long. That is interesting. I should have added some lights, right? Well, look, the wings, these wings survived. Yes, this is the sequel to the Titanic when when instead of a cruise ship or an ocean liner, it is an aircraft carrier. Okay, well let's oh, I was gonna say let's go back to the space center once this thing stops moving. And it's having some... Come on. Oh, thank you. Woo! Yeah, the cockpit was attached, and the cockpit basically melted off. And apparently we've also, that re-entry was so hot that we melted the global ice caps, and now everything is flooded. I actually think, you know, this is why Kerbals need to be careful with the amount of rocket fuel they're burning, because it is not affecting the balance of carbon in the atmosphere, and that means that they are going to have to worry about things like global warming. Let's just try taking an Aeris up for a flight. Launch, because there should be a carrier just sitting off the coast here. I had one sitting around somewhere. There we go. Yeah, it's a shame that it doesn't actually happen, because it would be kind of fun to do that. But there's a carrier out there that I should be able to try landing on. The game is adapting for a ship-centered game. That is exactly what we're dealing with here. Okay. Oh, let's not fly by the tower quite so close. Okay. 71 meters per second. Okay. Deploy. Deploy. Okay, so we got a carrier out here and we're gonna try and land on it. this is where it's going to be hard, because I don't have digital controls. I'm gonna try and land. I'm gonna try and land on the flight deck in this thing. So actually, I might need a bit more thrust. There we go. And I'm not lined up for the landing deck. There we go. So, you know, fun fact apparently is that aircraft land with their throttles ready to go back up to, you know, full throttle, because that would be bad if they missed the landing things. Oh crap. Okay, crap. Okay, never mind, we're gonna go around. Okay. Well, so much for that. Let's try this. Okay. Nope. Oh! Did I ever play a flight sim called YS Flight? No, what is YS Flight? Okay, I'm deploying these so that I will have more drag. That's the whole point of these things. So I'm coming over the top. Basically, I'm trying to stupidly high descent rate here. Okay, here we come, out of this dive. And we'll have some thrust. Okay. These are obviously not, you know, regulation go-arounds. We're doing some weird stuff here that would not normally be acceptable on a carrier. Okay, we're good. Okay, crap. I do have indestructible stuff enabled. It'd be nice. Can I open that door? Is that a door that I can actually open? I'm curious. Status locked. You know what? I don't think we have any crew on this thing. Yeah, we don't have any crew. Okay. Never mind. Let's go back to the Space Center and actually try to build this thing, right? Well, actually, that was one of the first things I did when I got a carrier mod. One of my earliest videos has me with an aircraft carrier, and for a joke, I land inside the aircraft carrier. Okay, so let's load up. Open this Enterprise++. So we've kind of got this thing, but we need to work on it. Obviously it has some issues. So we've got the shuttle wings, and we've got some extra shuttle tailplane on there. So these are obviously Enterprise shuttle, right? Obviously. So we need to figure out where we're going to attach. We need to figure out how to build warp nacelles here. Oh, I wonder if we could do. No, these are too small. Pardon me. Now what I could do. No, these are really tiny. Hold on. If I take these, I'm just going to add 2 of them and then scale them the heck up 10 meters. That's about the right size. And then rotate. Okay, and rotate. That's good. And then we'll slide them backwards a bit. So we need to make these look like they're actually designed to be part of this glorious creation, right? So obviously what we're doing is we're creating the Enterprise, right? We're creating the best Enterprise ever. And yes, I have infinite fuel enabled. Okay, I don't know why. You know, never mind. I'm just going to grab another one. This is rocket fuel. That is exactly what we want here. Excellent. There. So now we're going to have to add warp nacelles, right? That's the way to do it. So these look pretty good. Can I attach these and then rotate them to the correct orientation? Excellent. So now we need to rotate them correctly. Obviously these aren't actually warp drives. We're just trying to make them look like warp drives. Because it's all about the looks. I mean, let's be clear. The Starship Enterprise in the TV show was never designed to be a realistic spacecraft. It was designed to look high-tech and amazing. And, I mean, let's be clear. This will look high-tech and amazing. Actually, you know what I think about it? They had more length at the back, didn't they? Right? And then we would have... I don't know, something. So this thing is going to be so awesome. Let's turn on auto struts. We're going to need some auto strutting here. I'm going to take off the fuel from these. To be clear, I think this will give us issues in terms of balance. And that's the liquid fueled version. Fantastic. Oh, there it sticks on the front. What? I can barely see this thing. It's so tiny. There we go, and then scale it up to size. You know what? It needs to rotate, doesn't it? That's more like it. And then we'll need some sort of pointy thing at the front, right? It's a shame I don't have something more appropriately aerodynamic. There's not like a 2.5 meter intake, is there? Oh wait, there is, because I can take a circular intake and scale the damn thing up, right? Let's see if I can do that. Oh, not quite. But look. So we can do that, and then we can stick lights inside here to make it look really cool. Right? Obviously. I could actually stick... Yeah, let's just stick lights in here. We'll make it look like it's the Starship. The Starship. Lights, 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 light. Oh, look at all the weapons that we have here. We're not going to use any of them. But look at all the weapons we have. I don't think this is going to accept any things attached to it. The Bathyscape Trieste used gasoline in its hull to provide buoyancy. Yes, I know that. I don't know why you're telling me this, Silent Searchlight, because this is a fact that I am often relating to people at parties before they tell me to, you know, they look at me strangely. But I'm like, yeah, you know, the Bathyscape Trieste, it was all like, you know, one of these, it was basically the equivalent of a hot air balloon underwater, which is kind of cool if you think about it. So we need to come up with a way to do the end piece of this. I guess I'll try putting a jet engine in. Why not? No, actually, you know what? No, let's take the... I think we have a piece in here that works for the design, right? It's like an engine piece or something that goes at the back. Gotta go looking. Maybe it's here. Maybe it isn't aerodynamics. I just remember there was like a rear chunk for this, which was shaped the right shape to accept a bunch of engines and look like it was part of a rocket, but I'm not seeing it here, and I'm not seeing it in the structural section, so where would it be? Oh, there it is, right there. Shit, idiot. And when I say idiot, I am of course referring to myself, right? I want to be clear that I'm not calling any of you idiots, because you are clearly very smart and discerning people, since you are watching an old guy on the internet, you know, make video stuff, make things. Oh, too big. What? That's interesting that the other stuff scales differently. So that kind of looks the part, right? Oh. Silent Searchlight has been playing Okami a lot, which I think is a fantastic, interesting game. Okay, what kind of engines can we put on this? I think we should just put like a big aerospike in here and then scale that thing up. No, that's as big as it goes. Oh no, wait. Oh, yeah, actually just scale that a bit more. I think that is a pretty cool looking warp nacelle. What do you think? Right, let's zoom back here. This is going to be the one true Enterprise. I'm not saying that this is going to fly, by the way. I'm just saying that this is going to look kind of awesome. Auto strut, obviously. Auto strut. Auto strut. I think everything's going to explode because they're auto strutted. There we go. I still need the lights. Yeah, we do need lights. We're going to have to figure out how to do the lights on this thing. Let's zoom in here. What can I attach to this thing? I'm thinking that what I could do is attach some structural pieces, like these. Oh, yeah, I can't see anything here. It's like so tiny. Let's scale this thing up and see if I can make it visible. Oh, man. How can I fit something into this? And that thing won't attach radially. Gotta have a deflector dish, right? Well, I know, we gotta figure out how to do that, right? I mean, seriously, it's very important to think about these things. You know what I'm gonna do, by the way, is let's just sneak onto the carrier deck. And nobody's gonna notice if I attach a bunch of stuff here. So, what I'm gonna do... There, we're gonna attach a couple of things here. There. And then we're gonna attach some reaction wheels, right? And we're gonna scale these things up. So I can scale these things up and hopefully they provide enough power to adjust things. There. That'll be an interior that we can actually get behind. I like how the fact that they've just used a texture here. Oh look, we got it. No, never mind. Lift. Okay, never mind. We have elevators and stuff on all this. Where are the shuttlecraft? I don't know where the shuttlecraft are. We're gonna have to figure that out eventually. I think I should probably attach the tower. Where's the conning tower? It was here. Here it is. The Nimitz. It says it's a Nimitz tower, so it's not strictly correct. Okay. Probably needs to go back a little, right? And I definitely need to auto-strut that. I think this has fuel in it, right? Oh yeah, this has fuel in it. Yeah, let's just keep removing fuel and strutting things until it works. The main shuttle bay is about the right size. How am I gonna attach something to this? Because this doesn't allow surface attachment. And what I could do... Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna scale this thing up. Obviously I'm gonna duplicate it. And then we'll rotate it inside this thing. Oh, wait. Okay, need to make it bigger still. And we can shrink it down once we got it to the right size. I just want to see... Yeah, okay, slide that in. And it's not quite straight enough. So I'm just going to tweak this a little. That's good. And then we can attach like a, I don't know, one of these things to it. That's what we'll do. Scale that up. Right, and then attach some lights to it. So where are the lights? These. So we'll attach some lights around the outside. I'm going to zoom right in so I can see what I'm doing here. Now, if I had time with Kerbal RPC, what I would do is I would make these things animate. I would make them, like, do different colors over time, so that it would look like the Enterprise nacelles, but I'm just gonna put these in here just for reference. So now what I can do is shrink this thing back down again. And so we have created the thing inside there. That should look a whole lot better. Okay, let's just save this right now. I'm just wondering whether I should really put something else on this thing here. God, you know, here's the thing. I'm moving around by using the mouse drag, and it takes forever. Dr. Trotter, if you're supposed to be writing papers, you should continue to write papers, damn it. Don't blame me for your paperlessness. Okay, so now we gotta figure out how to do sails, because obviously we need to have some sails so that it looks like the correct... Oh, buzzard collectors, yeah, we need that, right? We need a radar dish, a deflector dish thing at the front, right? Ugh. Right about here, right? So, obviously, we just need to take the biggest radar dish we can find and make it bigger, right? Here we go. Just the one. Excellent. And the, oh, we can't make it any bigger. Typical! Well, that's unfortunate. Are any of the things tweak scalable? No. Okay, that will have to be the centerpiece for something more awesome. How about we just stick like another one of these on the front and then... Ooh, small inline reaction wheel. That might actually look the part. So, let's grab... Oh, here, of course, the radial attachment part, which just wants to break all the time. And then we'll slide it up. Oh... I'm going to slide it up to here. Slide it into the front. And it's off-center. I can fix that thanks to the magic of magicalness. Okay, and then I want to select... This is the hard part, because I got to select a part without selecting the rest of the thing. And... There we go. Scale, scale, scale. That's... well, maybe a little more scaling up. Ah, there. One more scale up. That's more like it. Okay. So we can stick that in the middle, obviously. And... add more lights. I mean, maybe we should actually just embed... I think I've actually got this backwards, because what I should do is have like a big cylinder that goes all the way back. So that would be a better option, like this. Right, and then scale that thing up. Uh-oh, I'm having the same issues selecting this. Uh-oh. If only I could tweak the scale on it without it being like there. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to be able to slide it backwards. That's looking better. But I think what we need to do is actually have some more of these. Nope, nope, nope. This off. Take this, stick it here, and then tweak scale this down a step or two. That's it. Okay, now slide the whole thing into place. Maybe I should grab that. Hold on. This is going to be the hard one. What I really want to do is grab this tiny little adapter. And it does not want to be interfered with on its own because it is in close proximity to things. Aha! That's me. Excellent! Excellent! Slide it backwards. Oh, yes! That's looking a little better. Okay, now we need some lights around this, obviously. Obviously. Why is he doing an aircraft carrier? We're doing the ultimate version of the Enterprise. Come on! Don't you guys recognize the Enterprise? When you went... So we'll do that, and then we'll have lights attached to them. I think this is looking great so far. Obviously, we'll never want to do that. And we'll need to figure out where our engines are. Nope, not those engines, not those engines. Those are the engines I want. So this is the Enterprise. No, it's even better than the Enterprise cubed because, yes, we have combined the Enterprise space shuttle. And you know what? I do need to have a little aerodynamic nose cone for this thing. I keep forgetting to... You know, actually, let's put like a... Let's put... Here we go. Where's the aerodynamic nose cone? There it is, there. Just pop that on the front there. And then scale it up just a little. Uh-oh. Scale it to the appropriate size. There we go. So we have the sensor dish, we have the warp nacelles, right? We have the space shuttle components, right? We have the wings, with the, obviously, as big a wings as we can get. This was the biggest wings I could tweak scale out of this thing. And the last thing that we need to add is sails, right? We need to add a mast. So let's put like a mast up in the middle of the ship, right? Starfighters, you know, we're trying to get the important things, and I don't believe that there are... the Starfighters never flew on the Enterprise, right? You know what? Actually, wrong. I should use this for my mast. There, and we'll need another one of those. We'll need a few of those, actually. It's going to be a proper tall ship here, right? Maybe I should move that forwards. This will be the ultimate Enterprise. And we probably need a couple... How many masts typically on one of these ships? I guess I'll have one here and one behind the island, just, you know, to... And then maybe one nearer the front. And I guess the one in the middle needs to be made taller. Let's grab that and make it taller as well. And oh yeah, and of course, if it's what we should do is take one of these and near the front, this is where it gets again really slow to move around. I'm trying to put that on the deck, but it doesn't want to sit on the deck. See, it there, once it gets there, it's like, nope, I'm not going any further. So let's see how far I can move this. Oh yeah, okay, we're doing that. And then we are rotating the whole thing forwards. So it looks like a ship. So now, I don't think we can make struts that long. That's the only thing. Is it 2 masts? I wouldn't know. We at least need to get these masts looking right. And the other thing I should have probably done before I copied all the masts. Now try to land a plane on it. Just wait until we get it airborne first. It's very important that we take this thing into the skies. Even if it is via cheating with gravity, you know, gravity cheating things. Okay. Oh, man. I don't even know how the layout of sails works on a vessel like this. Is there any, like, naval type people that know about sailing on this kind of ship? Okay, so now that's panel armor. No, we don't want that. We want... These are the nearest things we have to sails, right? What we'll do is we'll... nope, this one. Okay, that's a good start. I might end up taking this and copying it backwards. Okay, our symmetry on this is incorrect. Pardon me. Take the symmetry and fix it. There, excellent. Now I can scale these things up. Okay, okay, just maybe scale it down just a touch so that they're not touching. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is just scale it like that, and then we'll grab copies of those. I think I can just take these off. That's what I'm going to do for now. Grab this, rotate it all the way. Yep, good. And then take another copy. Obviously this is going to have issues with flying in the atmosphere, but I think this is the way I think this is the correct way. So yeah, what I'll just do is move these up a little, and then I'll grab them and duplicate them. Uh-oh. Might have to move to the other side. Oh, crap. As soon as the mouse moves out of the screen, it starts to bounce around like that. It's kind of funny. There we go. That's ish. That's getting there, sort of ish. I think we need to make these things even taller. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these, just stick it here. Turn off symmetry, grab this and stick it on top. Okay, that's looking slightly better because I can drop this down. In theory. And then it means I can drop this one down. I mean, they look kind of too small to be sails, but I just kind of like the way that's working, right? Which Enterprise? I'm building all... I don't know, I'm building the... whichever one makes sense. I'm not an expert on sailing ships, right? We're building all of the Enterprises, technically. That's the idea here. Like... Let's just build... Okay. So what I need to do... And grab that and rotate it. Let's scale it up before we attach it. There we go. And then rotate it, rotate it. And I'm gonna totally say I owe this idea to GregorxMun, who just dropped this sketch, which looked like such an amazing concept that I had to try it out. Like, There was, as soon as I saw it, there was like, there is no way I am not trying to do this. Because to not do this would be to deny the glory or something like that. Okay, I think that's a good start, right? I'm going to actually just copy that. There was a blimp used, called the Enterprise, used during the Civil War. I did not know that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy those masts, because I think that is as good as we need here. I'll maybe come back and make it bigger. And then get rid of this one. And unfortunately, I don't think struts run long enough. I don't think there's any way to make struts that are long enough to actually go between these things. Because it would be really cool to just like have a strut that went, you know, along this here, but it's not going to happen. Pardon me here. Okay. What do people think? Do you think this thing should fly just yet? Yeah, we got jet engines. We've got I think this is looking rather marvelous. We have basically 4 generations of Enterprise here. So I called the one previously Enterprise Plus Plus, but it should be Plus 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 for like 4 plus. Oh yeah. Let's auto strut something. I like how it's auto strutting to like weird random stuff. I don't care if these blow off. Actually, it would be kind of funny if they blow off. Let's save this and launch it. I don't know how to rig it, unfortunately, because the struts will not go far enough. The warp nacelles need to be tilted up? Really? I think this is the coolest looking spacecraft I've seen in a long time. The middle sails should be bigger. What I'm glad to hear this. I'm glad to hear that people have their... Oh look, the nacelles do appear to be pointed outward slightly. Oh, also it is behaving like an anglerfish. Oh, wow. We should turn on the lights just to see how they look. Okay, well, clearly not very good. I like these lights, though. These lights work. This thing is just still spinning here. And the sails. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. You can actually add auto strut after the thing is running. Like, I wonder if... Unfortunately, yeah, you can't do that while it's running, so you need to, like, sneak. Okay, let's refer our flight to the space plane hangar and we'll add some stuff. Are people still arguing that this is not the correct class of aircraft carrier because it's got the wrong number of masts? Because yes, this has the wrong number of masts to be an aircraft carrier. I totally agree, and I apologize, but my knowledge of aircraft carriers and number of masts is limited. I mean, can you really say that you are an expert on the number of masts your aircraft carrier should have? Because I don't think you know either. Auto strut, heaviest part. Yeah, if only you could have real struts being that long. Let's actually try and add some sort of strutting to this. Here we go. Okay, yeah, that doesn't work. Never mind. Let's save. Oh yeah, and we want to adjust these because they're not quite straight enough. God, like it's like inching my way along towards this thing. Okay, zoom Back as high as possible. So yeah, it's not quite straight. I need to fix that. Actually, you know, let's just do this. That's interesting that it apparently doesn't want to select. Why does it not want to select? Let's see. Well, you know what? Is it because it's... Yeah, it still thinks it's trying to place a strut. Never mind, let's launch this sucker. The Enterprise is also a train that runs between Belfast and Dublin. It's also... Yeah, people are still arguing about the aircraft carrier class. This is a Nimitz class hull, damn it. It shouldn't have warp nacelles like that. Okay, at least, look, it's not as floppy as it was. So that's good. Now we'll revert flight to this hangar. Clearly, I need... You know what I need to add is also rental car company parts. That we can have proper Enterprise rental cars, right? I mean, seriously, how could I forget the rental car company? It needs to be... You think it's a Constitution class? Yes. Ooh, somebody actually showing off their Star Trek know-how there. Okay, I think that... Maybe just one tip? Yeah, I think that's looking better. Now, to be fair, I'm probably going to cheat this thing into the air. I'm going to fill the hull with rental cars. Right, with cars that look nice and shiny, and then but they're all worn down, right? Ah, man. Yeah, I think it is kind of tragic that all these Star Trek fans worked so hard to get the first space shuttle named Enterprise, and then it never flew into space. Okay. So these lights, they are illuminating the interior of this, so I just need to make some adjustments. Okay. I am gonna go back into the spaceplane hangar and fix this. Cars do contain buoyancy, and that does provide some small level of buoyancy. Petrol, some buoyancy, yeah. Oh, and somebody's arguing over the number of screws that these things should have. I'm not gonna lie, I am completely ignorant when it comes to such things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move all these things outwards just enough that I can then rotate them to their correct natural position. Let's do that. And then rotate them a bit. Yeah, because we want them to illuminate the interior of this. I'll rotate them like 45 degrees. Oh. I'm actually hearing steam at work upstairs. Because I'm being a terrible person. But yeah, the Enterprise, the idea was that they were going to test fly, do all the test flights in the Enterprise, and then it would be finally fitted out to go to space. But in the time between the development, the building of the initial thing, they came up with so many changes that it was actually cheaper to just build a completely new one. Okay, I think this is surely ready to go, and the only way to go is stick this thing straight in space. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, still looking not quite as nice as I would like, but at least the dish at the front is looking the part. There we have. Now let's see actually if I can rotate this. Ugh! It is slowly turning thanks to that 100... Thanks to the gyro, the thingy in there, I think. Okay. Yeah. These were supposed to provide me all the torque that I needed. I'm gonna try clicking on one of them. There we go, reaction wheel. Let's auto strut it. Let's try turning them now. This is where we find all sorts of fascinating issues with the physics of Kerbal Space Program. Okay, it's these engines. We should try turning these engines on as well. And, yeah. Look, so we actually have the screws here, but we're not going to turn those on. Let's just actually try flying downwards with these. Look, our warp engines are actually providing some sort of thrust. But it's making us pitch downwards. Oh, in fact, it's totally rotating in the wrong direction. Yeah, these things are pitching the wrong way. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's totally wrong. I know this thing, 3 screws. It is literally unplayable. This thing has got a little Philadelphia experiment. I think I need a ton more of these. Okay. Gonna have to go back to the spaceplane hangar and do some stuff. The screws are not spinning right now. That's because they're screwed up, or screwed down, or screwed in, or something like that, right? I keep having to use hangar expander to get to the correct position. Okay, we're just gonna... Uh-oh. That is not what I want to do. I'm trying to get in close enough to put these in. Ugh. There we go. Auto strut. And auto strut. Okay, that's great. I think I might need another reaction wheel. But that comes through the hull, but that's fine. Okay. Rigid attachment, maybe. I'm not sure. What do you think of my ideas for names of hypothetical additional space shuttle orbiters? Victoria, Beagle, Mayflower, Resolute, Endurance, Calypso. I think those are all great. They're all I like Orion. I like Orion as a name. So yeah. Obviously Endeavour's pretty cool. I wonder what happens if I try to fire these engines on the ground. Obviously that's what's going to happen. Let's try disabling gravity just for a minute. Yep. It is starting to move. I'm not sure it's going to get us very far, but it's worth, you know, trying to figure out if we can do anything with this. These engines do not seem to be particularly good at helping us control ourselves. The best name for a Royal Navy capital ship was the HMS Agincourt. Is that what you're saying? Did you know that there was, I believe it was an admiral in the British Navy who was called Admiral Manly Powers, which has to be the most awesome McCool name ever in the history of awesome McCool names. And obviously, I am one of those. So I have opinions on awesome McCool names. Let's start firing the things. Oh shoot, I think I fired stage separator. Oops. I'm firing the... I started up the screws as well, hoping that I could perhaps get some pitch authority here. I like how it actually says we're now moving about 60 meters per second here, so we are no slouches at this point. But the thing is just so damn huge, it seems to be barely moving. Now, look, obviously this is cheating, right? there is no gravity here. So this thing would not normally fly. I mean, understandably, it is hundreds of thousands. You know what we could try? We could try landing an aircraft carrier on an aircraft carrier. That would be kind of ridiculous. But maybe we should try it. It is moving about 4 times the speed of a regular aircraft carrier. I wonder... Like, what we need to do is target this, actually, right? And we need to kill our velocity relative to it, right? We need some sort of thrust here. I just want to see what happens if I, like... What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the thing into position and then just re-enable gravity. So I just drop onto it and we'll see what happens. Okay, the problem is that this thing does seem to be wanting to turn around in a non-ideal fashion. Oh man, the whole thing is spinning. If only I had thought about this before I had got to this orient. Okay, let's... This thing is... I've got infinite propellant, infinite... Let's just ignore max temperature because we had bits of the thing broke. Yeah, I am trying to turn and you see the pitch here and it is giving me nothing. Let's try that. Oh! You know what? Let's just revert flight to launch and see if we can do this, right? Apparently, naval regulations specifically state that any attempt to land an aircraft carrier on an aircraft carrier is grounds for a court-martial. I'm just saying, like... Does the Navy work at sea, right? So surely they don't have grounds for anything. It's like they have seas for things. No? I'm confused. Okay. Just let me do this and this. Yeah, I know you're gonna explode. Just get yourself airborne. Just enough that we can actually get in roughly the right... Oh, oops. Just a bit of a hiccup there. Don't worry. Gonna throttle back just a bit and see if I can pitch this nose up. I kinda not wanting to take out the tower just yet. If I do that, he'll never let me. This thing has no control at all. I kind of want to see what the view from the control tower is. Oh, desperately trying to roll over so I can aim this thing. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna aim at this target. Which means a bit of correction here. Here we go. So I need to turn off hack gravity at the appropriate moment, and then hopefully the gravity will just pull us on to the target vessel. Let's look at the view from the cockpit. Looks like we are kind of headed the right way. Need a bit of correction in this direction. Okay. And I need to really pitch down now. Still going too fast in this direction, unfortunately. Oh, wait, target velocity mode, orbit mode, surface mode. Thank you, just want to make sure. Crap, I'm gonna miss it. It's gonna miss it. It's gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. And a toga is just not an option here. Let's just... Oh, come on! Oh, excellent! Look, we got the nose on the deck. There, that is a carrier landing. Not quite. Oh, and we broke our deflector dish as well. Yeah, let's get this thing back into space. Revert flight to launch. Add a nacelle. We've already got a nacelle. Oh, right, sorry. Yes, the mating the mating habits of these carriers are fascinating. I think we are unfortunately causing some stress to the game. I'm seeing the spinning mouse of doom repeatedly. So Alt F12. Let's just cheat it to some interesting location. Sorry about that. We could try sending it to Eve, right? There we go. So let's travel around to the other side and hope that we can make a slight retrograde burn to slow ourselves down. I'm hoping that scaled up reaction wheels produce more torque, otherwise I've been really wasting my time. I'm hoping this thing actually turns around. I'm gonna start slowing down. Watch my periapts drop. You know, add another carrier and a bigger carrier between them and you could get an SDF. What the heck is an SDF? Other than System Defense Force. Okay, this thing is behaving a little oddly. I'm not sure what it's thinking here, but that is not the kind of thing that I want it to do. I'm asking it to point retrograde, and it's not anywhere close. Let's actually add a little bit of thrust and see if that helps it. Yeah, I don't get why this thing is really confused about what way retrograde is. Let's try pitching manually. Switch is more massive. This carrier is easily more massive. My 1 hour moon rocket is only like 34. It was 45,000 tons, I believe. So it. Wow, this is impressive. This thing. I'm just gonna fix something here. I think I'm gonna shut down this engine just temporarily. And this one. And we're gonna aim retrograde. I'm just gonna see if this thing actually figures out how to point itself in some useful direction. Apparently not. I said retrograde, not normal. No, not radial in. No, it's moving back to what the heck? Your wife has been trying to fly Elite Dangerous with a guitar controller. I'm not gonna lie, I've been talking about doing that in Kerbal Space Program for a long time, but haven't really had the spare time. Okay, look, let's fire up the screws, see if that helps. There we go. The screws are going to slow us down, get us on the correct path. Whew. head in the right direction here. And it's rotating us around as well. Now the only thing is, we need to make sure that we're headed towards some sort of ocean-style area, and I think there's not much ocean here, to be honest. And you know what, I'm just going to try and drop it straight down into this big crater lake kind of thing. Play KSP with potatoes. Yeah, the screws are actually more effective than the rocket engines. The rocket engines are mostly there to look good. And to be honest, they're failing at even that. We do need to have some screenshots of this thing landed in a lake on Eve. But altitude is dropping. What kind of thrust it is actually giving us? In fact, I think my horizontal speed is slowing down at a rate of about 1/3 of a meter per second per second. Sorry, and an acceleration of about 1/3 of a meter per second per second. Good news is there's no longer a need for someone to clean up puke. Impact will basically make this thing self-cleaning. Yes. I'm just hoping that I can get some sort of flight out of it. You've never seen aerospikes with under-exhausted exhaust in a vacuum before. Can I publish the craft files and mod list after the stream? Maybe in the description. I'll try and find a place to put them. I think it could do some work. Use some work still. Yeah, well, Firefly had spinny things for good reason. I mean, those spinny things mattered, right? I mean, you know, the Firefly nerds can probably tell me how important those spinny things were, right? Oh man. I mean, so for those that have not been paying attention, look, we have the shuttle wings and tailplanes of the Enterprise. We have the Enterprise, you know, spaceship. We have the Enterprise mast, and we have the Enterprise aircraft carrier in one awesome, perfect Enterprise package, right? That's it. People, Free Luna is saying, oh, it's a shame there was only one season of Firefly. I'm gonna say, no, you don't understand. There wasn't even half a season of Firefly. It was originally supposed to be a 26-episode season, and they cancelled it after 13. It is a tragedy. If only we'd had one season. I'm drinking Melvin's experimental J-hole, and I'm going to say that this is clearly very experimental, so that means that I must be a J-hole. Firefly is the most tragic TV show ever. Not gonna lie. There is a working warp drive, it just doesn't look like an Enterprise-style warp drive. Oh, man. Contact had the most awesome spinny things ever, right? Really? I'm gonna land backwards. I'm gonna turn this thing around. I don't know, maybe I should... I don't know. What's going on? Oh wow, okay, so someone is actually saying the Enterprise is actually a French word anyway, which is rather hilarious. Yeah, this is the big lake that we're going to try and land in. We're starting to come up on. Oop. And we're starting to overheat, of course. But I think we can do it. 2001 had an actual working spinny thing on set. The set of the, like, the, what do you call it, the centrifuge in on the Discovery was actually a rotating set. Okay, you know what I can do here? I'm going to make sure my time acceleration is low. I'm going to activate the engine and watch this thing rotate 180 degrees. Watch this! Come on, get that rotation going on! So I'm using the torque on this engine to try turning us around. Uh-oh. It does look very underexpanded, I'm gonna say. Oh, come on! I want this thing to at least try to orient it in the correct direction. It's really slowing down now. Oh, come on! I wish, honestly, I had put more reaction control wheels on this thing, but it is not giving me any love here. So I'm using asymmetric thrust here to try and get some level of control and basically failing. Oh wow, look. Now these are all auto-strutted, that's a hilarious thing. I like how the sails are actually just failing. Okay, I'm just shutting down this engine now. So I guess I'm gonna belly flop into the ocean on Eve. Yeah, they were all basically auto-strutted, so these things getting pulled apart are in spite of the auto-strutting. Dr. Trotter is hearing Twisted Sister. We're not gonna make it. No, we ain't gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. Out alive. Nice! I like this kind of falling down through the purple atmosphere here. In fact, I'm starting to feel some sort of control, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try pulling out of this dive here, just to see if I can get some semblance of lift. My vertical speed is actually decreasing here. But more importantly, my horizontal speed is increasing. Look at those sails! We're going, what is it, 3 sheets to the wind! Okay, vertical speed is dropping. I wonder if I can actually... Oh! Oh! Okay, something happened! And we've entered warp drive. Time to apoapse infinity! I don't even know what's left here. We get krakenized! It splashed down too hard and was destroyed, but before that... I think the cockpit, everything just died all at once. That was really, yeah, the spatial... Well, technically it said the wing connector, but I really don't know what was going on there. Yes, yes, let's just bring this back to launch one more time, and we'll put it... I just want everyone to appreciate this beauty. Oh... Yes, we still have a Christmas tree floating in the background, yes. Are you sure Scatterer renders liquid on Eve? Very good question. I was ashamed because I was starting to feel hopeful. Look, it's still red hot. Let's go into orbit of Jewel. Oh, we get rings! I totally forgot that we have a ring system with the thing. But we're coming around! And somewhere out here, we shall have... It'll be sunrise. Look at this beautiful creation, huh? And I'm hoping that this thing can at least try to turn. What I'm gonna do? Oh, no. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just trying to use time acceleration to pitch this thing forward so that we can get a nice view on it. The altitude looked absolutely correct. We got lights on. There we go. But what I just want to do is get an outro shot for this thing. Look at this beautiful planet Eve with my my Enterprise to the power 4. And again, I have to thank GregorxMun, who basically pitched this idea, not really as an idea for an episode or anything, but just as an idea that he was going to turn into something. I thought, you know, that looks so Kerbal, it would be a real shame if I didn't spend the time to do it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, what we have here, this is the ultimate Enterprise, right? What we have is the Enterprise aircraft carrier. We have the cockpit of the Space Shuttle Enterprise and a bunch of wings from it as well. We have the sails from the classic sailboat, sloop, whatever type of ship it was. Of course, catching the space wind. And, not to be forgotten, we have the warp drive, the warp nacelles from the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. This truly is the ultimate Enterprise, right? All you Star Trek people that argue between the A and the B and the D and the other one, no, this is the best Enterprise, and no one can possibly argue against this perfect merging of all the great parts of this long line of vessels. Yes, this is the CVN CC 1701 6586 Enterprise. Thank you very much, Whiskey Weasel, for getting the correct registration number. Right. Yeah, that's right, no bloody A, B, C, or D. It is really beautiful. Look at it. It is... You cannot argue. There is no argument that you can make with a straight face that would not leave this as the greatest Enterprise in the history of Enterprises. So, anyway, yeah, thank you very much for tuning in for this great evening of starship development and occasional flying, but mostly building and joking. I love you guys. I will be back with more actual science stuff very soon. And yeah, until then, thank you very much and fly safe.